everyone, it's Lex, your host for Mondays here on DollyHolics, and we are having a tutorial week. So today I will be showing you how to hot glue suede your dolls. A lot of people don't know what hot glue sueding is. Hot glue sueding is basically smearing hot glue on the inside of your doll's joints to improve the friction and help with posing. This is good if your doll is very floppy, or if it's kicky, or if the head won't stay where you put it, or whatever posing problems you're having. So I'm going to attempt to show you how to do that. For just a warning, I'm really not so great at tutorials, so I'm hoping that the visual explanation will make up for my lack of skill in verbalizing things. I actually recorded the video for this a few days ago, and right now I'm just watching it and voicing over. So if it seems kind of jumpy, I apologize. If you have any questions at the end, please message me, and I will try to explain things a little better. Yeah. Alright then, let's get started. You're only going to need a few things for this project. You're going to need a low temperature glue gun. Low temperature is very important so you don't melt your doll. That's what I've heard would happen if you use high temp, so make sure you use low temp. You're going to need a doll, obviously. And you are going to need some paper, kind of in the bottom right there it is. You're going to need some paper. For the paper, you're going to rip pieces of this and make little squares, and this will be used to actually smear the glue around the joint, so make sure you have some of that. A lot of people use their finger. I would not recommend using your finger to smear hot melty glue around the socket of your doll, because I've tried this maybe a year or two ago when I first started doing this, and yeah, it kind of worked, but it was not as smooth and my fingers hurt afterwards. So I would recommend getting some good old printer paper to use to smear the glue around. This is probably going to be a very repetitive tutorial just because there really are only 3 steps to this whole process. You need to squirt the glue in the socket, you need to smear the glue around the socket, and then after the glue dries, you need to clean up any excess glue. That's basically it. So, alright, before we start gluing though, you're going to need to obviously undress your doll and put the clothes somewhere away from the hot glue so you don't ruin them. And then you need to unstring your doll. I'm assuming that everybody knows how to do this. If not, I can post the slow motion version of this clip on my personal channel, or you can look on DOA for unstringing tutorials. Basically, all you gotta do is just take the parts off your doll and set them aside somewhere. When you're unstringing a doll, make sure you do not mix pieces that don't go together. You see how I'm kind of separating the left leg from the right leg? Make sure you don't mix those pieces together, because if you try to string it up with the left leg pieces and the right foot pieces, then it's gonna not work so well, and it's gonna be a headache later when you have to unstring everything. Okay, so we're gonna start with the head. When you're sueding the head, you want to actually suede the inside of the head socket, not the neck, on the top of the neck. Okay, so what you need to do, take your doll, take a little bit of hot glue, squeeze a little bit in there. Now before the glue dries, obviously you need to take your paper, which you folded up before, and smooth it around the inside of the socket, so you have a smooth coating of hot glue. If it seeps to the outside, that's totally fine. Let the glue dry a little bit, and then you can just peel it off, like I'm about to do here. See how that's on the outside? That's not good. Just take it and peel it, and it will come right off. Which is the good thing about hot glue. It comes off so easily. I have tweezers with me just because if you saw before I turned the head over, in the middle of the neck hole I actually got a little bit of glue. So what I did there was just pick it out with the tweezers. Usually you can use your fingernail to get rid of things, but if you can't reach it, tweezers are usually a good thing to have around. Yeah, see, there it is right there. See that big lump of glue on the bottom left of that hole? I don't want that, so I'm going to take the tweezers and get it out of there. I guess this is also going to show you how easy it is to peel off glue if you mess up, because my glue came right out. So, okay, if you mess up, you can just peel the glue out in one piece and do it again. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Narrating in real time is real hard. And I apologize for blurriness. It's not that easy to have a tripod hanging over your head and keep things in focus. But I tried. Alright, so let's do it again after I get the head in focus. Okay. There's still a little bit of glue left there, so I'm going to start at a part with no glue. Spray a little bit of glue in there, take the paper, smear it around, and there you go. It's okay if you don't get it in one shot. It's totally fine. I usually do it in two. For every joint, I do half and half. If you have any extra glue on the outside, like I said, you can just scrape it off with your fingernail, but just obviously be careful not to actually scratch your doll. Yeah, see, I didn't get the whole thing, so I'm gonna go back to the other half, squirt the glue, take the paper, and smear it around. See how my paper was all dirty and it had a bunch of hot glue hanging off of it? Probably not a good idea. I use a lot of paper when I do this, so just be sure to keep your paper clean. Otherwise, you're going to get things all over the place and it's not going to be as smooth. When you're done coating the inside of the socket, just clean around the edges to make sure there's no glue sticking out, and you are done. Just kind of showing the whole layer of glue there. Yep. Before you move on to the next piece, make sure that the socket that you just sueded is not too thick now because of the glue. Make sure that it still fits on the joint that it's supposed to fit on, otherwise you need to redo it. Okay, next we'll do the upper arm. Basically, same thing again, except use a lot less glue now because this piece is a lot smaller than your neck opening is going to be. These usually give me a lot of trouble just because they are so small. I usually need to do these in 2 or 3 pieces because there's not as much glue. And I usually always have some glue leak off to the side that I need to peel off later. But as long as it is thin enough, none of that matters really. So just make sure your glue is thin enough, scrape off any extra pieces, and you should be good to go. Okay, speeding that up just because it's pretty repetitive. Doing the same thing again, squirt, smear, clean, blah blah blah. Okay, so after that's done, again, you just want to make sure that your pieces fit together, especially on pieces like arms, because if they don't fit together, you can't pose your doll, and that defeats the whole purpose of hot glue sueding in the first place. So just make sure your pieces fit together, and you can move on to the next piece. Just because we're a little crunched on time, I'm going to speed the rest of these up, but I think you can get the basic idea by now. Basically, just squirt the glue in there, smear it up with the paper, and scrape off the extra little glue that might seep out to the sides. Yeah, so I guess you can just watch the rest of this if you want to see how it's done. Oh, make sure your pieces fit together. Alright, here we go. The side socket, squirt the glue, smear the glue, and clean up the edges. My cousin is playing Mario in the other room, so excuse any background music. Okay, now all you need to do is make sure your pieces fit, and that's it. Hopefully this helped you a little bit. I apologize if I kind of rushed through it or if anything was unclear. After you have sueded everything, just string your doll back together and you should see that posing is much better. So yeah, that's my tutorial for hot glue sueding. Again, if you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to ask me because I kind of feel like I rushed this, but I'm hoping the visuals helped because once you get it, it's really easy to do. So yeah, good luck with sueding your dolls. and looking forward to the rest of the tutorials this week. So bye!